Alright. Here we are in the Dragonian Cavern. Alright, let's have a look. Anything around the back? Oh. No. Anyway, let's carry on. So, yeah. Let's carry on with this and see what we find. Okay, I've got right or left? Thin tunnel or big ass open area? Well, that's probably not really going to give you much, really, is it? We'll go this way. Makes most sense, I reckon. Oh, no, it's just a big drop. Okay, I'm gonna guess we're going back then. So I'm gonna guess we're going down this way then instead. Okay, so now it's looking very Draugr, very ancient Nordic. Yeah, a bit of ancient Nordic in here now. It was me, coming to kill you all. Come here. Alright. Anything good? Good stuff, but nothing that's worth me taking, to be honest. Learn, stuffing in there. Oh, something in this thing though. What's in there? Money! Oh, what's in here? More money! Money's always good. Okay, that looks like a doorway, but there's no lever, no switch. No lever or switch there. Okay, I'm guessing they're probably just a bit more decorative than anything else. I'm not gonna go searching every single bloody goddamn and sort that. Not much else here. Just a few urns. Okay. Okay, so we have that door, but that's just there for decoration. Right, we're carrying them down here then. Dooby-doo. Oh. See you over there. There's me. Me again. Ooh. Straight for the throat. Meh. Take anything off you. You. Okay, so they're starting to wear more dragon-based stuff now as well. So, I know. Well, I would say possibly a little bit of a harder fight later on, but this thing will probably, my sword at the moment will probably kill most people who want it. So, not really too worried. But do I go that way or do I go that way? We'll carry on this way for the moment. Well, they missed. Okay, there's about 1,500 Draugr here. I'm not gonna spend ages collecting all of it. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. No, I'm gonna worry about you. Screw you. Screw you. And one last person to. No, it's you down there. No. Okay, we'll go this way then. Right. Okay. What we got down here? Well, I'll take some dragon bones. Frost suppression, dragon scales. I'll take them. I think. Not really anything else there. You dead. Right here. Where's the treasure chest? What we got? Ah, made this bit of gold already. Ow. Back. Right. What's that? Oh, there. Alright. I'm not gonna worry about taking all that, don't really need it. Not like I really use a shield anyway. But yeah, you do get some, nice. Sort of like high level loot. Now, I don't know if the Dragonians themselves, if they're sort of like leveled, or if they, if they sort of like level your character, or if it's just straight up, this is what they have, that's that. No matter what level you're, you know, so no matter what level you're at, it's just, they have this, there you go, boom, that's that. Nothing else that anyone could say. I don't know if that's the case, but it might be. What have I got in here? I'll take a couple of things from here, I think. Take that. I'm not gonna take all of it. I could take it to sell it, but I don't want to spend ages fucking selling a whole load of stuff on that. I'll just take a couple of bits and pieces. There you go. Okay. I'm going back. Well, where am I now? Oh, I'm back up here. I don't want to be up here. You can see I've already been up here. Alright, let's go back down. Okay, I don't want to go up there. Have a look. So, from what I can tell now, there's like 2 different directions to go. Don't know if they both lead to the same kind of place. Because you got up there, and you got that one in there. We'll go with this one first. So yeah, there might be like a couple of 1 or 2 like small areas I might end up missing doing this. We'll see. So yeah, now I'm curious about what's actually in that one now. What's in that one? What's up here? Anything up here? A bit more of a climb. There's another axe just lodged into the wood. And just a bit of treasure. Okay, I'll take that, take them, and the Kayanite works. Right then, I'll take that all. Right, back to the bottom of the stairs, and boop, and then back to where we were going, which was this one. Alright, so in the last episode we were finding out about these Dragonians. If you haven't watched the first part. So obviously we are under Whiterun, as the name suggests. We've been finding out about these Dragonians who apparently, from what I can gather so far, they kind of sort of like want to overthrow Whiterun and take over Dragon's Reach. Something to do with birthrights and stuff like that. But they do seem to have the ability to use the Foom, or some kind of variation of it. But they also managed to teach it to some random animals like spiders and crabs and skeevers. So we still need to obviously do a bit more development on the story. Okay, we found the king. He's got the 4 Fushurudar. And fire! Lots and lots of fire. Alright, that's the king down. Just gonna smack you one. Okay. What did the king have then? Let's have a look. Come on. This guy is meant to be the king. Considering that he is the king, not a lot. Well, he didn't seem to be that worthy to be sitting on the throne. But we do have... Okay, so yeah, I was just talking about birthright. So, Dragonian birthright. Let's have a look. Maybe this might explain why they believe they have birthright over Dragon's Reach. Even though I'm pretty sure it was built by the Nords. Time has eroded the memory of our great heritage. We have been relegated to living in the swamps, and the lesser beings of this world have taken to calling us Argonians. Long did I suspect that our people were more than we realised, but it wasn't until I visited the Greybeards that I understood what we truly are. Those arrogant fools refused to teach me the way of the Thum. But I lingered in the shadows long enough to be exposed to the ancient language. It was the first time that I heard the Thum that I knew the truth. It spoke to my soul, and I understand that it was the language of our ancestors. we were descended from dragons and needed to take the power of the Foom as our birthright. Rumours that a dragon had been defeated and captured at Whiterun had spread to Iverstead, and I decided that if the Greybeards wouldn't teach me our ancestral power, then I would find this dragon and wrest it from our ancient brother. It took months to gain access to the magnificent creature. When I did, I found a defeated and almost complacent beast. I told it of my newfound understanding and what I planned for my people. Recognizing our relation, it gifted me a dragon egg. I raised that dragon as my own blood in the ruins and the Whiterun, and slowly learned a single word of the Foom. I demonstrated my power to the true believers that I found on the surface, and was able to build a following. That joined me back in the ruins and the Whiterun. We shed the Argonian title that the lesser beings had thrust upon us, and took up the mantle of Dragonians to honour our ancestors. Fate smiled on our efforts, and I discovered a second ruin and a Whiterun, one which held the secret to sharing our birthright with all of our people. A word of the Foom that would give the understanding of one word of Foom to another. Our ascendance is at hand. Okay, this is just getting very long, so I'm just gonna go skip through it. But each time, I'll leave it. You can pause it. Also good. Oh, actually, you know what? Don't worry about that, because we're pretty much near the end anyway. Right, my ancestors, the descendants of Regia, have cultivated the knowledge of the Foom amongst our bloodline. The word for understanding has been handed down through generations. The word wall has been desecrated in order to keep the power in the hands of our family. We have grown our ranks as best we could with the limited number of Dragonians that originally part of my ancestor. We are almost strong enough to ascend to the surface and take what is rightfully ours as the descendants of dragons. As experimental creatures, we have mastered the ability to bestow the power of the Foom amongst our kind. We have also amassed a wealth of assets that are guarded in the main cavern, so we will take Whiterun, and once we hold the formidable city, we can begin to grow our ranks even further by enlightening any Dragonian that is willing to shed the lie that is the Argonian moniker. Okay, so from what I'm understanding this stuff, so basically the Argonians in this story are basically actually Dragonians, but they've sort of over time they've lost this ability to use the Foom, because the Dragonians are related to the dragons themselves, so that's why they can obviously do the whole shouty thing, whereas the Argonians over time have lost that ability. So, and obviously the people have come to give them the moniker of Argonians instead, whereas this Rejar guy is basically pissed about that and annoyed, and basically is like, how dare you insult my people. So they basically, I'm still not entirely sure exactly what they're trying to take back. Take the power of the Foom as is our birthright. So basically, their birthright is to do with the shouts, not Dragon's Reach. So why are they trying to take Dragon's Reach? There's nothing for them at Dragon's Reach. The only dragon I can think of that they're talking about in this is Numenax. Which, well, there's no point in taking Dragon's Reach back now. There might be something gone missing here, possibly. But yeah, so basically it's something to do with the Foom, or there's a word that's to them, that's that is to them their birthright. But obviously it hasn't been going quite according to plan, obviously. So their Foom is the birthright. Okay, well they got, if it's the word, this was one particular word, or the Foom in general is, according to them, their birthright, then they've got it. And if they've got it, then there's no point in taking back there's no point taking over Whiterun. Unless they basically want the Argonians, now, the ones that are classed as Argonians, to slowly become Dragonians once more. Which then, that kind of makes sense. You know, and it's fair enough. But then you could just... But it would be better to learn that here in Whiterun. Learn your word in Whiterun. And then travel to Blackmarsh. Because all the Argonians are connected via the Hist. Or the Hist trees. They're connected via the Hist. The Hist talk to the Argonians in Blackmarsh. So learn the word here. Then go back to Blackmarsh. And rally your forces in Blackmarsh. That's what I would do. But again, there might be just a small detail I'm missing somewhere possibly, or there's just something that's not clicking in my head. I think that's where this is going. But maybe maybe it might not be Numinex, because Dragon's Reach was built to capture dragons. And there's nothing to suggest that Numinex was the only one that was caught. I mean, you caught Udaving. So who's not to say that there was another one that got caught? Question is, where is it? Is that thing alive? I think it is. Are you... Oh, okay. I'm on fire! Okay, so that's just a straight up Elder Dragon. So again, this goes back to the whole leveled thing. If the enemy encounters are based on your character's level, then this dragon type of dragon will be whatever is at your current level scale. If it's not, and it's basically just straight up Elder Dragon no matter what level you're at, you come here at like level 2, this thing is going to kick the living shit into you. Basically it's just basically going to kick the living shit into you. Okay, so is that the dragon that was called? I don't know. Okay, so we got a full set of dragon plate armor and a full set of dragon scale armor. Oh, we got Dragonian Crown. Ooh, that's something a bit newer for this. Let's have a look at this Dragonian Crown. Okay, so increased disease resistance by 100%, increases poison resistance by 100%. Okay, so not like the most amazing enchantments, but still could be useful. So you don't have to worry about getting diseases, and that means you should be able to resist vampirism. And not get the Sanguis Vampirus, or something like that. And you don't have to worry about poisons either. I mean, it is a little bit of a shame that it's not like a retexture as well, it's not uniquely textured to make it look a little bit different. But, I'll still take it. It's a unique dragon helmet. Also, I'm not going to worry about taking the armors because I don't have that much of a carry weight left. Alright, so that's the dragon, or at least one dragon dealt with. But considering that there was a dragon and a Dragonian king, I can only guess that when possibly near the end. And Jesus Christ, this water is very, very blue. Very blue water. My God. Alright, so let's just go see where this goes. Okay, oh, is this no way? Okay, so this takes you back to the well. Okay. No, okay. So, yep. Okay, and here we are, back here. Okay, so we're actually back at... Okay. So I was actually quite near the end anyway. But, oh well. Alright, so that's it for that. I'm going to guess you... Yeah, I think you just obviously just click on that to get out. Alright. So, right. So that is the general gist of Dragon and the Whiterun. Obviously, now there was probably going to be there might possibly like one or two little things that I might have missed in this. I know I didn't read the book that's up in Jorvaska, not Jorvaska, up in High Hrothgar. That's obviously just me because I can't actually get into High Hrothgar at the moment, so it's kind of like balls of that, really, isn't it? But right, so yeah, so now that we've gone through that, I'm gonna give some thoughts. First off, let's go for the positives. So the positive things is, I like the idea that it's using things that already exist. So it's using aspects to do with Dragon's Reach. It's using the Man in Whiterun. It's actually literally a thing that kind of takes place under the city, which I quite like, so it's not, and it's using other, like, kind of already pre-existing laws and stuff like this and stuff like that, and they tried to keep, and then they've tried to mix up the dungeon layout, so obviously it was partial cave, there was a little bit of the Weimar ruin in there, and there was also a little bit of Nordic ruin, so it's not just one design. It's they've tried to mix it up, give it some unique areas. Another thing I do is that I do like that they did actually create a story for it as well, because I always like a good story in a quest mod or a dungeon mod like that. I always like a good old story, even if the story is not the strongest. A story is still always nice because it gives it reason and purpose for the cave to be there in the first place, or the dungeon to be there in the first place, the ruin, or whatever it is that you're going for. It gives it a purpose to actually be there, rather than being like, here's a cave, go and have a look at it. It actually gives it a purpose, that there is actually story and lore behind it. I do also like that, in the ways of the treasure you can find inside. Now, yeah, obviously I didn't find anything like exceptionally amazing, but so if you've got like any kind of like weapon mods or armor mods that make changes to randomized loot in like bandit treasure chests, dragon treasure chests and stuff like that, you will be able to find those in there, as well as you do get to find a couple of like other like just enchanted items as well, and even if they're not the strongest, you can either use it to get the enchantment off of it, or you can just sell it for a bit of money, bada bing bada boom. And I do like the fact that they are in the ways of like, I do like the idea that the Argonians were something more than what they are now. And at one point they were actually quite possibly a very powerful race. But with probably what was most likely with the dragons disappearing and the dragon wars and that ending, so the Dragonians had to sort of like go underground, and then over time the ones that remained just slowly started turning into basically the Argonians that we know today. I like that. But right, so that's some of the positives. There's a couple of negatives, nothing major, but it's a couple of negatives. Which, everything that has to have a negative of something about it, doesn't it? One thing I was a bit like, with. It's not to say that it's terrible, it's just thinking like, could have been done a bit differently, or a bit better, or could just been a bit more, kind of thing. Is that there were areas where I was walking through it, but there was not really that much. Now, I mean, obviously, yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, obviously, sometimes you don't want to overclutter something, you know, because you can make it look quite messy if you overclutter places or certain interior kind of style of interiors and stuff like that. You know, it could end up looking quite messy. But then you can also have stuff in there and make it look tidy and very unique. Which unfortunately, the layout of the concept of the layout of the dungeon was unique, but the presentations of those areas, to me, you know, they weren't as unique as they could have possibly have been. But one thing I did get out there, this is not really so much a negative. It's just more of an observation, this part. But I kind of got like vibes of like exploring dungeons in, I would say, like Morrowind or in Oblivion. Because like the dungeons, I can't really say too much when it comes to Morrowind because I didn't play Morrowind all that much. But I can use Oblivion as an example. You know, it's like Oblivion dungeons. You know, so you'll go into an alien ruin, or you'll go into a part of the Deadlands, or go into one of the spires that are in the Deadlands. You know, and they'll seem like very big, kind of open places. You would expect there to be a lot of stuff in it. You know, lots of like broken down rubble, lots of ancient like kind of furniture, books, bookshelves, this, that. You know, all this kind of like stuff that you would expect to find in a ruin or in a basically a spire for an army, to a degree. But they were quite empty, and I'm kind of so I get that kind of vibe with this one, where there's stuff in it in some of the bigger areas, but it still feels a little empty. But that's not to say it's a bad thing. It's just one thing I think could have been done a little bit better. But every modder has their own ways of doing things, so it is what it is. But talking about the story, now there are aspects I do like about the story. You know, about like the Argonians technically at some point were actually these Dragonians instead. You know. And it revolves around, the dragons and this and that. But there were a couple of things where it was a bit like, either it didn't make that much sense to me, or what was the point in it? Now, I know I've done a video on the story basics before, before releasing part 1 of this, and I was talking about story basics. Some story basics, and some of that stuff was actually in that. But it's like one example is the animals having the ability to basically shout. Basically, what exactly was the point in them having the ability to shout? Now, again, it may be possible that I missed a book that would explain as to the reasons as to why the Dragonians were teaching them to shout. And I might have missed it. But from what I saw, there was really no explanation as to why they were able to shout, or why they were being taught to be able to shout. Or getting this power to be able to shout, basically. And it kind of seems kind of pointless. It didn't go anywhere. There was no payoff to it. And there was no direct explanation behind it. So I'm thinking, so like, again, unless there was a book that I missed, there's some lost potential there. The only other thing with the story that I'm a bit like, about is, yeah, you had the birthright, the Dragonians had the birthright for the food, which is fine, yeah, they can have that, they can claim to have the birthright to that. But I don't get what the whole point for Dragon's Reach was. And also, this little oversight from the creator, Celtic Conundrum. Probably just little oversight. But One thing I would have done differently is not have them try to overrun Whiterun. I would have had them to try and basically, yeah, still be under Whiterun. So it's still a dragon under Whiterun. Because it makes sense for there to have been a dragon in there at some point, which then the Dragonians basically rescued and learnt from the Stanley era. That makes sense. But to overthrow Whiterun, and that's in the center of the province, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Because all they've done is literally just given all that's going to happen is that they're just going to get themselves completely and utterly surrounded. Because they're in the center of the province. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Strategically, doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, you can spread out from the center, but the problem is if people start fighting back against you, especially since you have a dragon, you're going to get attacked from all corners. So strategically, it doesn't make a lot of sense. What would have made probably a bit more sense and brought it full circle about the Dragonians being basically Argonians being technically Dragonians, and the Dragonians wanting to get the Argonians back on their side to become Dragonians again, was to have been to eventually go to Black Marsh, build up their forces, get their numbers up a bit under Whiterun, and then travel to Black Marsh to then reconnect with the Hist that are in Black Marsh, which then the Hist talk to all the Argonian in Black Marsh, and that is actually part of Elder Scrolls lore, to then try and get the Argonians on the side of the Dragonians, because the Argonians will listen to what the Hist have to say, because that's that's part of Argonian culture, to a degree at least, I believe, if I remember correctly. So then they can get a whole, and they can, so then it's not just get a few people from a province on your side. You get a whole entire province on your side, not just 5% of the province. You get a whole entire province, the whole entirety of Black Marsh on your side, pretty much. But that's just like a little oversight thing for the story. But the story itself, it's like, yeah, there are aspects of the story I like, but also for me, the payoff, not so much to the story, but for the mod itself, the payoff, it was a bit weak. It could have been a bit stronger with the payoff. I mean, you got that Dragonian helmet. What was it called? What was it called? The Dragonian Crown. Yeah, you got this, and the enchantment, it's not terrible. 100% disease resistance and 100% poison resistance. It's not terrible. But so you go through all that, you get a few bits and bobs and pieces from the treasure chest, you kill the dragon, blah blah blah, and then you get that crown. But that's the thing, because you had the dragon plate armor and the dragon scale armor on the tables right at the end. But from what I could tell, they weren't enchanted. So what I would have done, at least myself anyway, is with those armor sets, is make them enchanted with some powerful, unique enchantments specifically for those armors. Maybe even a weapon for both sides. A sword with the dragon scale, and a battle axe with the dragon bone armor, dragon plate. So then, so the payoff would feel a bit more rewarding. For me, the payoff didn't feel massively rewarding, because it was just that crown, primarily, and that's it. Which, to be honest with you, I'm never going to use it. So it doesn't feel, the end doesn't feel very rewarding to me. But overall, I will say, it's still a fun mod. It's still a fun little mod. Yeah, it has a couple of things that could have probably definitely been done a little bit better. There were some things that were done absolutely fine and dandy. No problems with it whatsoever. But if you're looking just for a nice little dungeon mod to go through, obviously I found it obviously a little bit easier because because this sword here just kills everything basically in one hit. So I ain't gonna worry about that. But if you want to get if you want to looking for a new dungeon mod to have a little mess around with, a short dungeon mod that could take you, maybe anywhere from like half an hour to an hour. And maybe an hour and a half to complete, depends on how much you decide to explore it. Obviously, still give this one a go, give it a shot, give it a try, because you might also find things that I didn't find. So there might still be some mysteries left that are not in this video or the previous video. Alright, so that's going to be it for this. Okay, this video's been a bit more talking, a bit more about the actual review rather than the actual mod. That's because I didn't actually realise how close to the end I actually was. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. So I will leave a link in the description below if you want to have a look going at this mod yourself if you haven't already. And whilst you're down in that description, why not click on my Discord link that you should also find in there, where you can leave me more suggestions on my Discord, or you can ask me about modding in general, or you can just ask questions on there that other people might be able to answer who are also on my Discord. Or you got a chance, I just released another channel on the Discord where you can post some pictures of your characters and this and that and the other, and silly little pictures or possibly of things that occur in your game, funny glitches or whatever, kind of thing, some Skyrim snappy snaps kind of thing. But it's just a place where you can leave more suggestions, ask me questions about modding. There's a couple of other modders who are on my Discord who might be able to answer your questions. So I've got like Be Very or They on there, or Core J's on there. I've got Cyan49 on there. So a few, a couple of known modders who might be able to answer questions if I can't answer them. But yeah, so whilst you're in the description, why not click on that Discord link? If you're not really one for Discord, or you just don't use Discord, but you want to suggest a mod, you can always leave it in the comments below. Alright, and so just before I get out of here, also a like on this video would be very much appreciated, and if you want to see more of my videos, you can always just click on that subscribe button and click on that notification bell for when I ever upload a new video. And whilst you're waiting for me to upload a new video, you can check out some of my older videos. But right, so that's it. I've waffled on long enough, so it's time for me to get out of here. So until next time, I'll see you all later.